Mommy said it's very important that I learn about the kitty, so I got to read this story. It is called, I don't want to read it. It's called The Black Cat by Edgar Allan Poe. It's got all these big words in it, but I'll try. August 1843. For the most wild yet most homely narrative which I am about to pen, I neither expect nor solicit belief. Mad indeed would I be to expect it, in a case where my very senses reject their own evidence. Yet mad am I not, and very surely do I not dream. But tomorrow I die, and today I would unburden my soul. My immediate purpose is to place before the world plainly, succinctly, and without comment a series of mere household events. In their consequences, these events have terrified, have tortured, have destroyed me. Yes, that sounds like what a black cat would do to you. Yet I will not attempt to expound them. To me, they have presented little but horror. How is this supposed to make me like black kitties? To many, they will seem less terrible than Barokes. If it's not Baroque, don't fix it. Hereafter, perhaps, some intellect may be found which will reduce my phantasm. Phantasm. Mommy watched that movie many years ago and she thought it was funny. And then she watched it a few weeks ago. She didn't think it was funny no more. I'm very good at digressing. Reduce my phantasm to the commonplace. Some intellect more calm, more logical and far less excitable than my own, which will perceive in the circumstances I detail with awe, nothing more than an ordinary succession of very natural causes and effects. This is a hard book to read compared to the other one, totally very much so. From my infancy, I was noted for the docility and humanity of my disposition. My tenderness of heart was even so conspicuous to make me the jest of my companions. I was especially fond of animals, and was indulged by my parents with a great variety of pets. With these I spent most of my time, and never was so happy as when feeding and caressing them. This peculiarity of character grew with my growth, and in my manhood, I derived from it one of my principal sources of pleasure. To those who have cherished an affection for a faithful and sagacious dog, I need hardly be at the trouble of explaining the nature or the intensity of the gratification thus derivable. There was something in the unselfish and self-sacrificing love of a brute, which goes directly to the heart of him who has had frequent occasion to test the paltry friendship and gossamer fidelity of mere man. I married early, and was happy to find in my wife a disposition not uncongenial with my own. Observing my partiality for domestic pets, she lost no opportunity of procuring those of the most agreeable kind. We had birds, goldfish, a fine doggy, rabbits, a small monkey, and a cat. This latter was a remarkably large and beautiful animal, entirely black and sagacious to an astonishing degree. In speaking of his intelligence, my wife, who at heart was not a little tinctured with superstition, made frequent allusion to the ancient popular notion which regarded all black cats as witches in disguise. Why, you better believe it. Not that she was ever serious upon this point, and I mention the matter at all for no better reason than that it happens just now to be remembered. Pluto. Huh? This was the cat's name. I'm pretty sure that's Big Dog. Pluto, the cat's name, was my favorite pet and playmate. I alone fed him, and he attended me wherever I went about the house. It was even with difficulty that I could prevent him from following me through the streets. Our friendship lasted in this manner for several years, during which my general temperament and character, through the instrumentality of the fiend intemperance, had, I blush to confess it, experienced a radical alteration for the worse. I grew, day by day, more moody, more irritable, more regardless of the feelings of others. I suffered myself to use intemperate language to my wife. Oh, at length I even offered her personal violence. I don't like this story. My pets, of course, were made to feel the change in my disposition. I not only neglected them, but ill-used them. I don't think I can read this no more. For Pluto, however, I still retained sufficient regard to restrain me from maltreating him, as I made no scruple of maltreating the... Okay, I can't read this no more. I can't read it. I'm sorry. I tried, but I can't. We don't like Edgar Allan Poe. We're going to stick to George Selden.